How much of an impact does new construction have on our local real estate market? Stick around and we're going to share with you.
You better get fired up.
Lissette, what's going on? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, Joe. How are you?
I'm amazing, man. I appreciate it. Had a great weekend. I'm a football guy, so I got my football on, and I'm rejuvenated, man. Guys, I'll tell you, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, if you've got questions, comments, anything to add, feel free to put it down there, and before we end this video, we'll absolutely answer. If you come in afterwards, put it in there, and we'll still always respond to anything you've got. So this week, Lissette had a phenomenal idea to look at new construction and the impact that it's having on our local housing market here. And every market's different. Not only is every location different, but every time period is different, right? 12 months ago, new construction had a much different impact on our market than it does today. And in 12 months, it'll probably be different than it is now. And if you go to Jacksonville or Atlanta or St. Louis or Minneapolis, you're going to see differences in how much that new construction market has on the local real estate market. So today, I thought in my nerd fashion, I would look up some statistics and share with you some numbers. And then I'm going to draw some conclusions. And then Lissette, I'd like to turn it over to you and just kind of see what your thoughts are after hearing these numbers. So here we go. I literally just pulled these 15 minutes ago, so they could not be more fresh. Here's some numbers for you. Single family homes currently for sale in Port St Lucie built up to 2021. So we're not looking at any 2022 or any 2023. That's how I'm defining new construction, right? There are 978 currently on the market. So that's our active inventory. So how many sold in the last 45 days? 293. So when you look at that pace of selling 293 over 45 days, and you divide that pace into 978 active homes, we've got 150 days of inventory, or almost exactly 5 months, right? And that doesn't surprise me at all. If you watched one of our earlier videos, we kind of broke into two different price points. You had 450 and below and 500 and above. Just going to look at first-time home buyers versus, you know, that luxury market. And we're calling luxury 500 plus here. That might be a little low, but just to kind of set the difference between those two. And we saw a distinct difference. 450 and below had a 2.8 month inventory rate. Anything at 500 and above had a 6.8 month inventory rate, which was considerably different. And this being at 5 months doesn't surprise me at all because it's kind of right in the middle of those two, right? So it doesn't really surprise me. Now, here's the thing. When you look at how many new listings of those 978 were added in the last 30 days, it was 339, or 35% of our current inventory. So of what we had, roughly a third, or 35%, were added in the last 30 days. Okay, so that is normal, not new construction real estate here in Port St. Lucie. Let's look at the same exact numbers, but we're only going to look at 2022, 2023 homes that were built in those 2 years. All right. How many are currently for sale? 326. How many sold in the last 45 days? 95. Do the math, and that's 154 days of inventory. It's almost exactly the same as the 150 days of inventory that we're seeing with pre-existing sales, right? Almost zero change. Now, if I look at how many have come on in the last 30 days, these new construction homes, we're looking at 108 of our current inventory, which is 33%. And when we were looking at single family homes, it was 35%. So you're looking at a 2% difference. What does this tell me looking at this? Because if you're not a nerd like me, you're probably Joe, holy crap, this is way too much. I don't get anything.
That's a lot of numbers.
I know, I got it. This is what I'm taking away from this. And again, Lissette, I'd love to hear your take on it afterwards. Both markets, new construction and pre-existing sales, look almost identical. If you've got a lot more new construction on, it's going to have a bigger impact. If the inventory of new construction is sitting longer, that means your inventory is going to continue to build up and up and up and up and up. You're going to have a lot more homes to compete against my home that I might want to sell, or Lissette's home that she wants to sell. We have to compete against builders and their new construction, right? With those two markets being very similar, I'm not seeing the impact as crazy as it might be. Now, obviously, if you're Joe or Lissette trying to sell your own home, or you at home are trying to sell your own home, you'd love to see no new construction out there, right? That'd be beautiful because then you have way less competition. But we've got right now very equivalent competition, which to me says it's got a very neutral impact, right? Again, when you're looking at, all right, of the homes that are coming on, great, maybe inventories are about the same, but what's coming on the market? That's why I threw that last stat out, right? 35% of the single family home market is coming on every month on average. And with new construction, it's 33%. It's almost identical. So to me, it's a very neutral impact. It's not really helping it a lot. It's not really hurting it a lot. It's just kind of neutral. If you go into an area where they've got a housing boom, and by housing boom, I mean a lot of new construction popping up, especially when compared to the inventory of pre-existing sales, you're going to see that pre-existing sales are going to take a hit because they've got to compete against all those beautiful new homes, warranties, never been touched. Man, people love that. It's going to be challenging to compete in this market. I think we're looking at a pretty neutral impact. Lissette, what are your thoughts?
No, I agree. I think a lot of times when buyers look at the market, specifically new construction, and they're seeing price reductions or a larger inventory, automatically they're going to start thinking there's something wrong with the market. There's so many new construction homes. It's just a different market than we were in 7, 8 months ago. There was zero inventory when it came to builders, and we had a very limited resale inventory. Now that inventory with builders has come up a little bit, has grown, but it doesn't mean that they're in trouble or there is an immense amount of inventory compared to resale. We're pretty much in a neutral market on both ends, very steady, and both properties, either resale or new construction, are both selling at a pretty steady pace.
Yeah, and guys, just so you know where new construction is, right now I'm looking it up. I'm looking at the screen as I'm talking to you. Of the 326 new construction homes that are for sale right now, and again, I'm defining that as anything built in 2022 or 2023. I'm going to put these in order of price. And now some of these are going to be over in Spanish Lakes. So you're going to have to pay a high lot rent. We've got a lot of different things going on here, right? So take what I say with a grain of salt. But I'll tell you, I've got out of the 326, there are 3 up to 250. There's nothing between 250 and 340. And then again at 340, we've got literally one home at 340. There's nothing up to 350. And then from 350 to 4, you've got 40 options. So you can see that 350 to 4, that's where it really opens up. You start getting a lot of options. You'll probably be able to find, I mean, let me look at some of these. This one's 1433 on the square footage, 1916, 1828, 1680. Here's some 1400s, 1800s, 1300s. So you're probably going to be in that 14 to 1900 square foot range. We've got 2 beds, 3 beds, and 4 beds. They're all 2 baths. You're not really going to see a lot of homes that don't have 2 baths here in Florida. They're all 2-stall garages. They're all on 10,000 square foot lots or smaller, which you're going to see at any price point, really. They are all CBS homes. So you're really seeing a lot of different options at these price points that I tend to put first-time home buyers into. If you were calling, Lissette, correct me if you think I'm wrong here. If you were calling us maybe 8 to 12 months ago saying, hey, I'd like new construction, I'd like to be around 350, I was saying, dude, good luck. Those pop up maybe once every 2-3 months. And every single buyer in Port St Lucie, all 1,262 of them, are pouncing on that sucker, which props the price up. And now, even though they weren't asking 350, maybe they were at 369.9, they're getting 389.9 because of all that extra excitement, right? Now in this market, you're able to come in with so many on and the inventory rates on and the continued, 35% growth every single month in additional new construction inventory added to the market. You're able to come in and get those homes actually to stay in that $350,000 to $400,000 price point. So really, it's a phenomenal market right now for buyers. Rates are a little higher. That sucks. We've got some solutions on rates. Lissette, you want to talk about some things that you or a lender can do for buyers if rates just suck right now?
You see, and that's a fantastic part of new construction, that these builders are able to offer so many incentives when it comes to buyers. We have the buy down rates. So then construction builders are offering these discounts so that they could buy down the interest rate for the buyers. They're offering closing cost assistance. And that's why I really like to offer new construction options to first-time home buyers. Some of them may be a little bit tight on cash, not ready for the closing cost yet, and you have so many options with new builders with that.
Yes, I love that. So what she's talking about, you can get a 1% rate buy down, a 0.5% rate buy down, where you pay cash up front and it takes your rate down for the life of the loan, right? You can pay for it, or you can ask the seller, in this case, maybe a new construction builder, to pay for it. What Lisette's saying is right now, the odds of them saying yes, well, 12 months ago, it was 0. Now we've got some builders that are actually saying yes. Even pre-existing sales, we've got some sellers that are saying yes. They've got what's called a 2-1 buy down, right? Which is, it's a little bit bigger of a buy down, but it's more short term, right? So there's a lot of different things that you can do with that. There's a lot of different loan types depending upon your credit, your history, your cash, all those different things that are open to you. So there are different things that we can do to make sure that you're getting your costs there too, right? Also, if you can put a large chunk of cash down, man, if you're looking at a $400,000 home, you're worried about the monthly payment. And instead of putting 12 grand down, you can put 100 grand down. If you're lucky enough to be in that position, you're literally cutting out a quarter of the value of that home, which means you're cutting out a quarter of your monthly mortgage payment, which is phenomenal, right? So there are just a lot of different strategies that you can utilize to put yourself in a better position and lower that monthly payment, possibly by decreasing that interest rate. Lissette, anything you want to end on here?
I love the new construction, potential that there is also. But for sellers, if you're in a community where you have a lot of new construction still going on, keep in mind that unfortunately is your competition, but you also have a step ahead of them. You have a property that's ready to be sold right now. You're not adding any additional fees for upgrades. And maybe you have a prime location that's not available in the community anymore. Those are all really important factors to take into account, and making sure to take a trip down to the office, have your agent get their price sheet and see where are they pricing these properties. And if you come just slightly right below, you're going to have the upper hand.
Yep, that's exactly perfect. Guys, again, thanks for joining us, whether it was on Facebook or on YouTube. If you've got any questions or comments after this, please put them in the comments. We'll always get back to you. Lissette, I appreciate you joining me. Have an awesome day.
Have a good one, guys.